Okay. Welcome back to the pub. I am your host, Moraya, creator and founder of Master in Progress, the brand, and a 20-something-year-old who likes to talk about anything and everything, so she created a podcast. Now, we're in February. Yikes. And for February, what other better topic to talk about than my love life? Or non-existent love life, because let me just say, yikes. Also, today our drink of choice is a grande ice brown sugar oat milk thing from Starbucks. This clears out the system, so that's why we have that. And I think I have some topics that I want to talk about in regards to love life and all that stuff. I think what I'm gonna start with is what I bring to the table, which is a lot. And then we'll go into like what I expect from a man, what I expect from love. And then I'm also going to talk about some juicy topics in regards to what went wrong in my past relationships and give you all the dirt. Because honestly, my love life has been very interesting. Traumatic, to say the least, but very interesting. So I'm going to share with you eventually everything that went wrong. I don't know where everything that went wrong in my love life and what you should and shouldn't do and who you should and shouldn't date based off of my experience. And we'll just say I've had a lot of experience. And some of you who do follow me might hear your little stories in this series of Moraya's love life, so you might want to listen, because here's my version, and I'm not sparing any detail. Like, we are going into depth about what these men did to me. So stay tuned for the next 3 or 4 weeks. But this week we're talking about moi and why, what I bring to the table and what I also don't bring to the table, because I am crazy and I know that, and it's hard to date me and I know that, but it's hard to date me because I have very high standards, and I'm not going to bring them down for anyone, so deal with it. Honestly, my standards are here. The typical male today is down here and this is like ground level down here. They're here, some of them. But I did learn a new term this week, and I think it was perfect for this episode, and it's called TradWife, and that is what Moraya is. I aspire to be a traditional wife. I feel like that just looks so much better. We'll fix that angle eventually. But I was raised to be a housewife. I'm sorry, not sorry. I was raised to be a housewife, and in every respect. I love to cook. I clean. I don't love it, but I clean. I'm really good with kids. I love kids. Right now, I'm at the phase of my life where I'm happy to be able to give them back to where they belong. Not necessarily want any of my own, but eventually I definitely do, because I feel like kids are our future, and we need to raise them correctly, and that includes discipline. Some of y'all parents today aren't disciplining your kids whatsoever, and that's why we have crazy, weak men. Just saying. But I love kids. I love kids, and they're so funny and entertaining, and I can't wait to be a mom myself. Actually, I can wait. I can wait, but because I don't want to be one right now. Um, but like I was saying, I was raised to be a housewife. I was raised to, you know, um, sit home, look pretty. My dad always told me not to be fat. Sorry, Dad, that we're kind of fat right now, but we're working on it. Sorry, I just burped into that microphone. That was disgusting, and I apologize. But I was always told, like, you know, make your man happy. I totally believe that. Here's what I think the family like standard should be, and no one's gonna agree. Not everyone's gonna agree with me, but based off of the way I was brought up, and I think that it's definitely like talked about in the Bible, which is the foundation of my beliefs and morals, and it's kind of what we're supposed to be doing. Um, Men were made to be protectors and strong and go out there and, you know, um, be a man. Anyway, so I think that when it comes to marriage and when it comes to the household setup, there's the husband who is the protector, the one who's bringing in all the money, who's, you know, making sure there's a foundation for his wife and kids to sit on. He's the head of the household. He's the one who guides us and shows us, hey, this is where we're moving, this is where we're going, this is what we're doing with our lives. And then there's the wife. And I don't think the wife is necessarily equal, because at the end of the day, we weren't built to be strong and like, even though I am strong and but that's out of necessity, not because I want to be. And she is a boss in her own right, because she's the head of the home when it comes to like taking care of the home, taking care of the kids, raising the kids, teaching them and how they are supposed to live their lives. And of course there are aspects where both of them are teaching their kids what they need to do, but the mom's at home nurturing the kids, making sure that they have a safe home to come back to once they come back from the world and whatever the world's teaching them. But the mom not only takes care of the kids, take care of the house, but she's the one who's making sure that the money coming in is being invested correctly, and making sure that everything is secure and safe for that man and for what he's building, and making sure it's allocated to the right places. So, and I think it's talked about in like Psalm something, 31. It is talked about how like a woman should be taking care of the house, taking care of the kids, but also be business smart and know how to allocate the money that the man's bringing in. And like I definitely saw that in my mom growing up. Like, let me just say, my dad would be out making the money, bringing him back in. We won't get into that, but he was bringing in the money. My mom was making sure me and my brother looked good, dressed well, you know, doing our thing. The house was immaculate. The house was gorgeous. Always had food, always had beautiful. My mom and her candles and her jazz. When I tell you, there was pooperay everywhere, candles everywhere. She loved to play her jazz out on her Bose system. Beautiful backyard. She taught me how to garden. I love gardening. It is very therapeutic. You get to watch something grow, and lessons. I was also named after a flower, so really, really burned in there for me. But she only went to work because my dad decided my dad got into some trouble, which we'll talk about in our financial series, but my dad got into some trouble. Technically, she didn't have to work, but I think for her and her mindset and how she was brought up, she was like, I'm making sure my kids are good to go. It was also around the time, like, they had to start thinking about, like, oh, Moraya is going to college, and then Gabe will soon be following, so, like, we have to make sure we're in a good place for that. And so she definitely had to, like, step up and take over. And mind you, this woman's smart as all. God made that woman smart. She went to Yale, Wellesley, and Columbia, has a doctorate or PhD, yada, yada, yada. She works for George Washington University and their laboratory research. I don't know. Once y'all start talking science and mathematics, shoot. I'm like, okay, cool. But she is a very smart woman. And even when my dad had to go to jail, like, we never wanted for anything. We always had food. We had new clothes. We had this. We had that. We were good. We never had to share a bedroom. Me and my brother growing up, we had, like, our own wing of the house. Like, and those are always up to date with the newest things. Beautiful. She kept that house beautiful. She kept all her houses beautiful. She, in a lot of ways, I hope to be a wife and a mom like she was. And definitely when I'm looking for a man, I'm looking for someone like my dad in some ways, in which he took care of everything. Like, we always had 2 or 3 cars. Like, we always had and that is something that I'm very, very proud of. And, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, I think having that expectation for the man in my life is acceptable. And I, quite frankly, there shouldn't be an issue with that. With that being said, like, I know I can cook. I know I can clean. I know I can bake. I know I can raise kids. I might not always have the temper for it, and kids might get on my nerves, but I know I can do all that stuff. I've done it, and I've been doing it for years and years and years. I know I can take care of myself. I know I can take better care of myself, and we are working on that and making sure, like, I'm bringing my healthiest self to the table, because, like I said, eventually I do want kids, and I can't raise kids if I'm sick and can't take care of myself. How am I supposed to take care of kids, you know? And so I know I have stuff to work on as well, because I definitely think my anger issues need to be worked on before I get into a serious relationship. But I also know I was trained to be a traditional housewife, and I am ready for that. Like, I'm good. I'm good. I can throw a great house party, dinner party. I know how to, like, make sure my man feels special. Ooh, I'm good. I was trained well. It's more of, I have to work on my patience and understanding not everyone was raised like me, but there are people who were raised like me, and I need to find them. And we'll create a powerhouse team of kids and D1 babies, because I am 6 feet. So whoever I do wind up marrying will be having 6'1" babies, and adopting a few. Just putting that out there. But definitely 6'1" baby, D1 babies, and NFL, NHL. What else is there? MLB, NBA, like, and they're gonna be part black, so. These babies are gonna have the best genes, because they're gonna be part black. They're gonna be tall. black and tall thing already got them into at least the MLB. At least. And then we can go to the NBA, NFL. I'm just saying. They got a good starting point right here. The other half of you might be the issue, depending on who I wind up with. But half of you will be ready to go into the sports world to my future child, whoever they are, whoever they may be. Anyway, yes, I truly believe in the traditional housewife and being one, and that's what I hope to be. Now, let me say this. Yes, I expect to be the traditional housewife in the fact that he is bringing in the money and I make sure it's invested correctly in the house, but that does not mean this empire that I'm building will stop. That just means that your money is the house's money and my money is my money. Sorry, but it is. And it most likely will go back to you and like gifts and like towards the kids and stuff like that. But my money is my money. I don't necessarily have to put it into the house. I probably will. I don't have to. But it's there. And if I find that you have a problem with that, then bye. And that's kind of it. I don't see how that's wrong. I see that it would only be wrong for the men who are brought up today who are weak, because there are some weak men, and they're brought up because they were not disciplined as kids. They were not expected much of, and so now they expect everything on a silver platter. Well, buddy, guess what? Everything is not served to you on a silver platter, and you actually have to work to create generational wealth and create a foundation that a family can live off of. And most of y'all don't want to do that, and that's why most of y'all I wouldn't be interested in, because you have no work ethic, no drive, no desire, and are lazy. And I'm just not that, so it's not gonna work. That's why I laugh in a lot of people's faces, which is not necessarily nice, and I know that, but it is what it is. So I'm not even sure I really went into. I think that was a good starting point for this series, because I know what I want. I know I have high standards, and I've learned, hey, I do have high standards for my friends, for who I want to marry and all that stuff, and the people in my life. I do have high standards, and guess what? They're going to stay high, because I've been told by people to lower them. I'm going to keep them high because I have high expectations for my life, and so they're going to stay high, and if you don't meet them, oh well. Like, we're not meant to be in each other's lives then, because I have goals and achievements and things I want to do for myself, let alone a family that I want to grow. Why would I want you to bring me down from that, just to fit into your life? If you want to be small, that's fine. That's your choice. But I don't want to be small. I don't want to have to want for anything. I want to be able to go after what I want and have friends and family who want to go after what they want as well, and we are achieving and building off each other and creating this wonderful life, and have something so sacred and so biblical that it's like, wow. That's all I want for my life and for the people in my life. And if you don't want to meet those high standards, and oh my gosh, Moraya has such high standards, okay, bye. That's it for this week. I have high standards, and they are not lowering for anybody, not one person. And that's it. hope that all of you, I kind of want to hear what you guys think about like marriage and dating and like who you want to spend the rest of your life with and your standards for all of that, because I know mine are high and I thank my parents for that every flipping day. Um, and I teach the younger girls in my life, like, have those high standards. Do not be ashamed of them, because you know what? Those high standards will get you farther and farther in life and make you work harder and you stronger and your friends and family hopefully stronger and smarter, and y'all just keep growing. Um, and that's kind of it. But I want to know, like, how do you feel about that? I know there's going to be some backlash about some stuff I said about the husbands and their roles in the family and all that stuff. Okay, we have differences, and that's how we have conversations, and that's how we all grow. So let's have those conversations. Let's do it. Okay? As always, I hope that you all have a great week, and as always, keep thriving.